Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to STEAM at Home. My name is Roseanne Norjack, and I work at the Bull Run Library, and today I'm going to show you how to make one of my favorite winter STEAM activities, a 3D snowflake. Now, you may be familiar with creating your own snowflake by folding paper and then cutting different shapes into it, and when you unfold it, it creates a really cool pattern. Well, we're going to do something similar to that involves cutting and taping and folding, but it's going to be a really cool big 3D effect. We're going to make a large one, and I also have a small one to show you as well. So what you're going to need for this, you're going to need some printer paper. If you have different colors, I have all kinds of different colors here. You can do that, or you can just use plain white. There are templates available online for you to print out. I got mine from lne.com and they're free, or you can freehand it. So we're going to do a couple of different ways for how to draw out your patterns that you're going to use to cut. So printer paper, you're going to need scissors, a pen or a pencil, a ruler would be helpful, but if you download the template, it cuts all of that out for you. Stapler, scotch tape, double-sided sticky tape, if you have it, again, it's an option, and then some string. So this is a fun, easy way to create ornaments and decoration for your house that look really cool. I've seen them used as wreaths, as ornaments, so there's a lot of variety that you can do with this. The colors that I'll be using today are blue, white, and gray. But again, you can alternate these to be whatever color you want. If you're making the large one and the small one, you're going to need 6 large pieces of paper like this. For the small one, it'll work a little differently. So we'll focus on the large part first. So you're going to take your first piece of paper. This is if you don't have the template. You're going to take this corner, fold it like this, and then make sure the edges are lined up, and then crease it with your thumb so that you create a little triangle. This is going to be your template for your snowflake pattern. So you're going to take scissors and you're going to cut the trim off the bottom here so that you have a perfect triangle shape, kind of like this. So this is where we're going to draw our lines to know where we're going to cut. So you fold it over again like this. And this is where you take your ruler and draw your lines. So from the center of the snowflake right here, you're going to measure about 1 to 1 1/4 inch down. And you're going to draw your first line going in a diagonal pattern. And that's going to be about 1.25 inch long. Then you're going to measure another 1/2 inch down and mark that, and I'll show you what this looks like in a second. Then your next line is going to be about 3 inches long. Then you're going to measure 1 3/4 inch down, mark off, and then your last line is going to be about 5 inches long. So you should have something that looks a little like this, and then you're going to mirror it on the other side as well. So we're just going to draw my lines in here really quick. Again, using the same spacing going down is important, but this is only if you want to freehand. The template is a little easier because all these lines are drawn for you. Now you've got this. So you're going to take your scissors. You're going to cut from the center of the paper going outward. So we'll watch. And you're only going to cut to the end of the line. If you cut any further than that, it's going to not be great for your snowflake. So now we've got 3 little flaps here. And then we're going to do 3 more cuts. All right, so now you have the cutting part. You've got your lines and you've got little flappy bits here. So it kind of looks like an arrow. this is where you're going to do your folding. So if we unfurl it, you'll see that you've got pointed triangle ends. You're going to start from the middle, folding them and working your way out. So our first fold right here is in the middle. And you're going to take the ends with both hands and pull it toward you. And take a piece of tape, you just need a little bit, and you're going to tape it down so that it looks like this. See how these, kind of like how you roll your tongue, there's a little curve right there. So now you're going to flop the paper down, do the same thing. Take the next 2 points, curl them toward you, tape them down. So now it looks like this. And if you get lost, always remember what were the last ones that you curved toward you. Flip it over so you've got a new set of points to work with. Curl it toward you and tape. Flip it over and tape. So this is going to be one piece of your snowflake. And you can see you've done it correctly if all of the edges kind of curve towards each other in an alternating pattern. So now that you've got one, you've got to do this 5 more times to create each of the 5 snowflake parts. So I've got my pieces of paper here. I'm going to cut really, really fast, and then when we get to the end, I'll show you how they all fit together. So we're going to fold. So now I have 5. As you can see, these have already been drawn because I printed them from the template, and now I'm going to cut, so I have 5 more pieces. If you are using the template, make sure that your lines are coming out from the center of your page, because if they're not, that means it wasn't folded correctly and you have to fold it the other way. Alright, so now we have our 5 other pieces. Now we're going to fold them again. So we'll go over it one more time. You unfold your snowflake and you've got your middle diamond right here. You're going to take the edges of the diamond, curl the 2 points toward yourself. The first one's always the hardest. You grab a piece of tape and you tape it together. Flip it over. Curl the edges toward you like this. Take a piece of tape. Tape it together. Flip it over. Curl the edges toward you. Take a piece of tape. Tape it together. Flip it over last time. Curl the edges toward you. You don't want them to overlap too much, but just enough. Tape them together. Now we have 2. All right, I'm gonna fold really quick now. Here we go. Finally, so we have all 6 pieces. This is actually very therapeutic when you fold, because you kind of get into the habit and pattern and the rhythm, and it would be nice to put on maybe some holiday music while you're doing it. So now we have to connect these together, because right now they're just 6 pieces. So I like to alternate colors, but you can do it however you want. You're going to find the part of the snowflake, it doesn't matter which end, that's curving toward you, like this. And you're going to take 3, and you're going to line all the points up, all the diamond points up like this. You're going to take your stapler and you're going to staple them together. So now you've got 3. Do the same thing for the other 3. Find the piece of your snowflake that curves toward you. Line up the pieces of the triangle together and staple them together. Awesome. So now you've got half of it. Now you need to stick the 2 halves together. So what you're going to do, you're going to take the 2 pieces that you stapled, line them or overlap them so that one triangle goes on top of the other like this. You're going to take your stapler, come in from the side. Don't be afraid to get a little rough with it. And then you're going to staple once, and if you want to reinforce it, you staple twice. So you've got 2 staples in the center there. And once it's folded together, it's not super visible. So now you've got it stuck together, but now all the bits are kind of just flopping around. How are we going to connect them together? Couple options here. You can take double-sided sticky tape. You can take a piece. You're going to come down to the center point right here where your outermost layer of your 2 diamonds folded together. Stick it on. Take the next piece of the snowflake and line them up. Squeeze it together. You can also use a stapler. So we're going to pull our pieces together, take our stapler, and then you're going to bring it down in the middle. Staple it together. The only thing is that the tape is sticky. It can unstick itself, so for longevity purposes, it might be good to use a stapler, but if you're just doing it for a season or you're gonna have it up for a couple weeks, the double-sided sticky tape is a good idea. You can also tape the center pieces together. So we're going around and touching each end of the snowflake sides together, and as you can see, it's starting to kind of stick together here. And our last piece. All right, that is your 3D snowflake. So if you want to hang it as a wreath on your door, you have a couple options. You can loop a piece of string together, use your scissors and cut it off. And I suggest using tape for this, but you can also use a staple to reinforce it. You're going to take the ends of your string, find a piece of the snowflake that you want to be kind of at the top, put your string there in the center, tape it, you can use a couple pieces of tape to maybe reinforce it, and you have your very own wreath for your door. Now that's a large one. The small one is a little bit different. That template is going to be a little bit smaller, but same idea. You're working with a piece of paper. You're going to fold that triangle that we talked about. You're going to cut off the end, so it'll be about 8 by 8 square. What you'll do, fold it over once, unfold it, fold it over again, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut along the middle here. So you're going to have 4 squares that measure about 4 inches by 4 inches. And you're going to need 6 total, so you just do it again with another sheet of paper and you'll have a little extra. So again, we fold it over and we're measuring the lines again from the center going out. And these lines are going to be a little bit smaller. So you're going to measure from the center and you're going to do about an inch. Make sure you're doing it at a diagonal. You're going to do it about an inch, inch and a half, and then 2.5 inches. So, and then repeat the same thing, cut, fold. I didn't use the stapler on the small one only because it can be a little fragile, so Scotch tape, double-sided sticky tape works great with that. And at the end, you have a topper for your tree or an ornament that you can hang up anywhere in your house, like on your mantle. It can be a little mini wreath for your room. And I used red and green and white with this. Thank you for joining me today for STEAM at Home to make 3D snowflakes. So you can kind of see how they look. My name is Miss Norjack, and I hope you guys have a great week. Bye.